In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. Bluff City Media presents the $2 Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to your Thursday edition of the $2 Sports Show. I am your co-host, Rusty Buckets, checking in for the third day in a row with my guy, fourth day in a row, with my guy, Drew Gann, a.k.a. Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck, how's it going today, man?
It's good. Listen, we've got the little Alexa thing set up. You know, our alarm goes off, and you say, Alexa, turn off alarm, and it's really the worst day to wake up. Worst way to wake up in the morning is with an alarm clock. But after we tell Alexa to shut up, I'm up, quit griping at me, she gives us the weather. And the weather said it's currently 49 degrees with a high of 78 in February in Northeast Mississippi. And I'm going to tell you, if it wasn't so dang soggy outside, I'd probably have a few golf clubs in my hand right now, just being like, you know what? I've fought the fight for long enough. I'm taking this day to go be alone in the Whispering Pines and hit some little white balls into the woods.
You know, that's a perfect Therapy Thursday segment in and of itself. Without even hitting the bumper video, that's perfect because I could use some golf therapy right now. You know how it is when you've got something to do, right? Like all morning I've been like catching up on some stuff. I did a few things I needed to do. Like it wasn't a busy morning at all. And then starting at about 10:30, I'm trying to get a deal closed for a client that we start having all these issues and having to go back and forth. And like for the last probably 30, 40 minutes, I have done nothing but send text messages on my phone. I've been staring at my phone so long this morning. My eyes starting to twitch. You know how you get that fatigue from staring at screens? And like, I'm looking forward to this afternoon, walking away from this desk, getting out of the house and not looking at a screen all afternoon. Like I'm ready for that moment, but golf therapy is really good today.
Listen, I've spent the better part of the last month on storm restoration. And when storm restoration mode hits, my role is dispatching. And so I am just literally in front of my two computer screens with a cell phone and a CB radio, talking and coordinating for 14 hours a day with at one point like 150 people, crews, call that 25 foremen or whatever it was. I wasn't talking to everybody, but it's just like an inundating of phone calls, and it just wears on you. It just absolutely wears on you. It seems like the only solution, the only way to fix this problem is to just throw it out of the window and find something to do that doesn't involve technology at all.
Yeah.
And so, and then to make matters worse, when you have like a long weekend, Mondays are always the worst. Like, dude, 3 weeks of storm restoration and the projects that got put on hold, and now the people are wanting answers, and I'm just like, I've had to find myself in a position to where I just call people and just be like, hey, listen, I've got so much right now. I'm doing it one at a time. I'll let you know. I will let you know, because there is no way to solve this problem in a day.
Yeah. And like normally I'm a morning workout person. I like to get my workout out of the way over with early, but I slept in a little bit this morning. I had an appointment at 9:00 I had to go to and did a little work. And then I was looking forward to a good, relaxing show where you and I catch up and talk sports. And then I would go do some work this afternoon and work out this afternoon. That workout can't get here fast enough to let out some of this frustration and stress just to get out from underneath some of this. Cause like there's a decent amount of money hanging in the balance here. I'm trying to get this thing to the finish line. So like I'm texting the client, I'm talking to you live here on air, trying to juggle a lot of plates. I'm getting Shelby out this afternoon is going to be helpful. She'll be outside with me while I'm working out. That can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, I know it. That's why I like doing this in the lunch break too. Cause it provides a clear 1 hour slot in which, your lunch, I could find reasons to work through lunch break, and you work 8 to 5, you get paid for 8 hours, even though there's 9 hours in there. I need this hour. I need this hour when at all possible to separate my days.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to be able just to take a breather, disconnect from the world for a little bit, talk sports. We're going to talk Darryn Peterson today. We're going to talk Grizzly stuff today. There is NBA games back tonight. We're going to talk about all that, and it's nice just to unplug for an hour. And so we're at a holding pattern with my client so I can focus on the show. Perfectly timed, like things typically end up being. So, Drew, we do got to talk Grizzlies, as there are some basketball games tonight. Grizzlies play tomorrow night, but we'll talk some NBA. So, although not all the way appropriate, I am going to hit the bumper video talking Grizzlies to talk basketball.
We are the Two Bucks, and this is our show. It happens every single day at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, God's time zone, on Bluff City Media's YouTube and X pages and Rusty's Facebook page for his grandparents. If you are here and you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button if you're watching live. If you're watching later in the day, you can still hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. You just don't have the ability to hang out with the cool kids in the chat. So if you're watching this after the fact, 11:00 a.m., hit the bell. We'll notify you anytime we go live, and you can hop in here on your lunch break with us, and you can hang out with Wayno and King Meeks and all the cool kids that are in the chat every single day. Edward, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, exactly. The usual suspects are here hanging out. We've got Wayno, we've got David Owens, we got King Meeks, got all the folks hanging out. So come on over, give us a thumbs up on the way in. And we'll let us know you're here. Drop a comment in the comments to let us know that you showed up to hang with us today. Well, I do want to start. We're going to start with some college ball because there were some big happenings last night. And of course, I'm talking about Josh Hubbard scoring 38 points in the first half last night for Mississippi State against Auburn. An electric performance, 9 of 12 from 3 before even the break. Mississippi State was up 18 points. Only for Auburn to come back and tie it in the waning moments, and Josh Hubbard lifting us to victory last night with a 43-point effort. We had Darius Acuff with a 49-point effort. What a night of college basketball it was last night. Drew, did you get to watch any of it at all?
Yeah, I kept up with a little bit of it, more or less on the phone, as I'm trying to just kind of be around the kids at nighttime and not trying to seclude myself from my wife at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
I'm keeping my finger on the pulse of things. Listen, Josh Hubbard is the perfect college basketball player for y'all.
Absolutely.
I mean, there is, in a league that is dominated by one and dones, he reminds me of, I don't know if you remember Stephon Moody, who played in Ole Miss, who was about 5'10", and just an absolute dynamo. I watched him drop 40 against Mississippi State one game in the Pavilion at Ole Miss, and he's so much fun, and there's no risk of him going pro early. You get him for multiple years. Like, in college basketball, you've got to, if you root for a team that is not a powerhouse or not going to recruit the McDonald's All-Americans and the one and dones, like a guy like Josh Hubbard is perfect because I guess he's a junior this year. There's really no shot of him going pro because he's like 5'8". So
he's listed at 5'11", but him and Jalen Brunson would see things eye to eye. There's no way he's taller than 5'8". He can jump out the gym. He's uber athletic, but he's your prototypical great college player. Right. But and he like we go as he goes. Like as Josh Hubbard scores, Mississippi State will go. Last night at halftime he had 38 points at halftime, and Mississippi State had like 40. I think they had 47 at halftime. And like he ended up scoring like 60% of our points last night. And if Josh Hubbard has an off night, we don't have the players around him that can respond. I feel like he has like a Marshall Henderson, Kemba Walker type run in him where he literally carries this team. But the problem is we're not good enough to make the tournament. We're not going to make the NCAA tournament, barring an SEC tournament run for the ages. Probably not even going to make the NIT. But I hope, like you said, we get 4 years. There's rumors that he might come back for one more year just because there is not really a place for him in the NBA yet. Get one more year of NIL, see if we can run it back one more time. He's Dwayne Wade's cousin, which is cool to have Dwayne Wade watching a lot of our games. But it'd be cool to get one more year of Hubbard just for the electric player he is.
The only competition you'll have is like, say, Kansas wants to take a flyer on a proven, a known commodity, and they've got a gap at a point guard, or one of those blue bloods that they can pitch title run that Mississippi State can do. Like, you're not really competing with the NBA right now for him, but he's going to be a G League guy too, maybe a two-way guy, but more than likely an overseas kind of guy. So the only competition Mississippi State will have in the offseason is the transfer portal and a championship run. That Marshall Henderson team was, I don't remember what their record was, but they won the SEC tournament that year, and that's how they ended up with that seed. And that team had some good players too. Like Murphy Holloway had a cup of coffee in the NBA, had a career overseas. And,
and I mean, there's guys that are stepping up, like Achor, who's one of our post players, is getting better. Like we've got guys that are starting to peak at the right time. It's just going to be too little, too late, I'm afraid. But if y'all haven't watched Josh Hubbard, go look at the highlights from last night. He's a fun guy to watch. He's just a true, you talk about a guy, and we're going to talk about Acuff next, but you talk about a guy who's just a true offensive assassin, an elite skill player. Like, he is an elite offensive player, much like Acuff, doesn't play a lick of defense, but runs an offense and can score in buckets, and he's just a fun watch.
Maybe it's my bias, but I've always said that short players are more fun to watch when they're good because it just looks like they're freakish. Because they don't, a 7-foot dude dunking doesn't look that great, but you see a guy that's it has an obvious height disadvantage and still gets 47 points. He was he went to Callaway High School, I believe, in Jackson, and he was committed to Ole Miss for like 2 years before switching to Mississippi State. And at the time, it was like, okay, like no big deal. He was the best player in the state, but it was like 5'10" guard. It's like, okay, how good can he be? And my goodness, is he electric?
I mean, that's it. Even if you like, Drew is not a fan of State. I know all of y'all are not. I'm the only one here. But if you just want to watch a hooper, he's just a hooper. And if he was 6'6" or 6'8", like you'd be talking about an all-world type player.
Yeah, he would have never been at Mississippi State to start with, and he definitely wouldn't be in college for 3 years.
He would have been in the Rising Stars game this past week.
I always make the joke, and it's probably a lot of y'all won't appreciate this, and I don't know that my wife does either. But me and my wife started dating after she came out of a bad relationship. And the self-esteem was low, and I always I got in at the right time. I bought low and it greatly exceeded. Like I was smartest decision ever made.
Sure,
was purchase low. Okay, because she'd have never even thought about me if her self-esteem was as high as it should have been. Okay. That's the situation with Josh Hubbard in Mississippi State. Like, I
mean, I can't argue.
You bought low, and buddy, the roof it hit.
This is like we hit a like plus 10,000 odds here. Like it was great, and I can't even argue that. But speaking of short guys, and speaking of guys who are hooping, I mentioned him earlier, and I do want to talk about it. We've got Edward on the Acuff train. Drew, he had an electric night last night. I don't know if you watched. You said you kind of kept up with it on your phone. I watched all the overtime periods of that Arkansas-Alabama game. An instant classic. Double overtime, 47-point effort from Darius Acuff. Is Darius Acuff a lottery lock for you?
Yeah. Listen, anybody that's going to be in the SEC and drops 50 in a game, and they're going to be in the postseason, they're going to make a run. He's the best player on a really good team. Yeah, he's going to be a lottery lock. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be. I mean, again, we're talking about this with a lot of season left to go. And so there's a lot of things that can happen. Guys can emerge. Some guys can falter. You can be exposed, especially Acuff kind of got off to a slow start, but he's really peaking now. We'll see what happens as he goes through the SEC season and a postseason run in which he is the primary target on defense. You're catching everybody's best effort, game planning for you. You can see a lot of things happen, but listen, NBA executives rarely care about offensive production, or you see that a lot anyways. But what could be the tiebreaker and what will work in his favor is that he is absolutely producing. Like they go off measurables, they go off this, that, and the other. But a winner can often like turn the tide in your favor. And to go up against an Alabama team, a team that's down but still really solid in the SEC.
Well, they got LeBaron Fallon, who's going to be a lottery pick as well, who got 35 points last night, 7 assists in 41 minutes. Like, he's no slouch himself. And for Acuff to show him up on his home court, yes, Fallon and Alabama got the win, but Acuff was the best player on that court last night by a mile. And he played 50 minutes to Edwards' point that he just made, and he had 1 turnover. Like, he protects the ball super well. There is not an ounce of defensive game to this guy. Like, if you watch him, he just doesn't defend if you're looking for a negative, but the offensive production, he's one of the best passers I've seen in college in a long time. His ability to see the floor and find the open man is NBA level already. And to this point, we're going to talk about Darryn Peterson, a.k.a. DNP, in a minute. Acuff was in a walking boot 2 days ago. And Calipari talked about this in the game last night. And after the game last night, and he said, I went up to him and was like, hey, man, do you think you're going to be able to go? And do you think you're going to have to miss the game? And Acuff said, are you crazy? Yes, I'm going to play. And then to go out and put up that kind of production just a couple of days out of a walking boot, like, this guy has the mentality to be an NBA player. I love what I'm seeing from Acuff. And if the Grizzlies find themselves in that mid-teens, like mid to late teens where Acuff is being projected, I would 100% be okay with this kid being on our team.
Yeah, and I mean, even if the Grizzlies are currently slotted at the 8 seed, if that's where you're picking and you're convinced about him and you know you're going to be off jaw, like, I don't mind it either. Like, again, he doesn't fit my prototypical swing I want to take, but we're talking 8 here. When I talked about my swings, typically those guys are going in the top 5, and so I think that he has the potential to be a very high floor candidate, and at worst, a really good scoring, facilitating point guard with
and that's electric. Like, that's a good player. You need that. You can build a defensive backcourt around that with guys like Gigi, who is improving defensively, Cedric Coward, who's a good defender. Jalen Wells can be on the court with him as a good defender.
There if all else fails.
Edie's there. Yeah. And what's been cool to see, like last night, like Calipari did a really good job. When Alabama keyed in on Acuff, they then switched and made him the screener to where he could set a screen, get some space, and then get him the ball so he could create when Alabama was throwing 2 guys at him and really trying to clamp down on him. He's just very versatile offensively. I think for us, like, to me, I think we have bigger needs elsewhere. Like, I think we could get like some wing help or some post help in this draft. But if we find ourselves at 8-9 and Wagler's gone and Boozer and Wilson and those guys are all obviously gone, and we take a chance on Acuff, like you said earlier this week, taking a chance on the most athletic guy in the gym is never is always a good play.
Is he that though?
But no. But what I was about to say is also taking a chance on a guy with that dogged mentality that's just going to go play and just going to go out there and hoop. That's another guy you can bet on.
Well, and I agree with Wayno in this. I agree with you, but I hope we don't overemphasize mindset. Because we are we're gun shy with our point guards right now, and our point guard's biggest deficit our current point guard and John Morant, his biggest deficit is that the fact that he just kind of coasts through life and chooses not to play games and milks it. And I hope we don't overemphasize the doggedness and I'm not getting off the court thing and forsake like upside and talent at the same time. Like I don't necessarily, for instance, what keeps coming up, and Wayno keeps bringing him up, and I've brought him up when we talk about the prototypical mindset being like a Cam Spencer. Like, I don't want to like draft a Cam Spencer and miss out on who could be a superstar because Cam Spencer has that psychotic personality, that we've wanted John Morant to have this whole time.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. We've got a bunch of point guards. Are they all better than Darius Acuff? I don't know. I don't think so from what I've seen. I think he could fit on this team. But for me, I think there are other players in this draft that we could go get. And I don't know that this system needs an elite level point guard. But I think if you can go and get a Boozer, a Wilson, and a Dybansta, obviously those guys, or even like a Lundenborg or a Wagler or some of these other bigger Ament from Tennessee who had a really good game yesterday as well, 29 points for the Balls. Like there are other bigger players we could go get and be point guard by platoon here, like Wayno says.
Yeah, I'm not. I kind of agree with Wayno here since we got enough point guards. However, on that list, and I think he meant Cam, Ty, Pip. On that list, there's only one that I'm married to for the long-term future, and that's Ty Jerome. Like, I love Cam Spencer, but going into it, like those three guards are not what I want to go into the season with as our only guard options. Like, I'm okay with. I feel like that position group can be upgraded as well.
Yeah. So. Agreed. And I think there are pieces that we can upgrade it with in this draft. Darius Acuff would be one of them. But again, I'm like Wayno and kind of like I think what you're dancing around. I think we can fill in this team around those guys. One guy that I would like to avoid at all costs, and I hate it because it's certainly not a talent issue. It's more of a mentality thing, but that's Darryn Peterson, a.k.a. DNP. He played last night. He played 18 minutes last night. But cramps got the best of him, and he subbed himself out, much to the chagrin of Bill Self, who was a little upset in a post-game interview last night. I'm sure you've seen it by now, where he basically said, for him to come out like that hurt us. That was not something we expected. That was not something that we were looking for. And because he was hooping. He had a great first half. I think he had 23 points in the first half. Finished again. He had 23. He had 20 of his 23 points in the first half, came out, made one shot in the second half, took himself out, only played 18 minutes, which got me thinking, Drew, maybe he wants to be a Grizzly, and he's just proven to Zach Kleiman that I can be very effective in a limited amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, that's very well possible. Listen, I kind of go both ways on Darryn Peterson. It's very obvious that he's got a camp, his mentors, his agents, whoever's around him in his ear, are very conscious of his draft stock. He's conscious of who is at the top of this draft with the two worst records, correct me if I'm wrong, are Sacramento and Utah.
Or maybe Indiana.
Or maybe Indiana. Yeah. And he's he's basically tanking his own value so that he can fall in the draft. And on the other side of it is he's quite possibly the best player in college basketball.
That's what's frustrating.
Like, if you are looking at him in the minutes that he does play, his PER is like 24, 25, whatever. It's top end of the league behind Boozer and maybe Dybansta. But he is just absolutely a generational talent who is either not committed to playing or forward thinking to the point to where he's already trying to sabotage his draft stock. And so I'm in kind of a weird position with him. Would I take a shot on him? All right, say we're pick 3. We're both on record saying that we would go Dybansta 1, Boozer 2. Yep. Okay, say we're pick 3. Those two are off the board. We've spent a lot of time talking about Darius Acuff and how he is really good without defending, has the potential. In my words, I said has the potential to be a really, really good point guard going forward. Probably not great. Or at 3, if I tell you that Darryn Peterson's still in the draft, is it worth taking a shot at what is possibly the best player in this draft, knowing our own Memphis Grizzlies scars?
That's what makes me nervous. And maybe it's just PTSD. Maybe I can blame John Morant for this too. Like it makes me really nervous to have another guy who is willing to sit out games to prove a point or to manipulate or game the system. We literally have a superstar, one of the arguably top 10 most talented players in the NBA, sitting out games to earn a contract extension. Why would I then bank on a guy who set out games in college because he was waiting to go to the NBA? Parrish Sharkey has said this on numerous occasions. I've heard other people, but Parrish is the most recently that says, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And if this is how Darryn Peterson is going to conduct business, forgive me for wanting to get in bed, no pun intended, with another camp who is going to manipulate and game the system like this. Because who's to say this wouldn't flare up in contract negotiations at the end of his rookie deal, at the end of his second deal, at the middle of his rookie deal? Who's to say that this same buffoonery and shenanin won't shenan again, right?
Yeah, right. I'm with you. And for the same point that I made earlier about you don't want to overemphasize mentality with, for instance, don't go draft Cam Spencer if you can, or don't put all your stones in the Cam Spencer camp because he's got that crazy psychotic mentality, and not draft a guy like Darius Acuff.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to think of this, and I have a feeling, and you know it by the greats that Nick Saban said it. Everybody who's ever been anything in coaching and GMing has always said it's process over emotion anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can't let the PTSD take over and make the decision. It's got to be process based, but it's impossible not to see the fear in drafting a potentially another head case.
100%. And again, we're not arguing talent. If you're catching this late or on the back end, you can leave a comment and let us know your thoughts, but we're not arguing talent. Darryn Peterson is clearly 1 or 1A most talented guys in this draft, with AJ Dybansta, who we'll talk about next because he had an amazing game last night. But Peterson is a guy that he can control and manipulate games, but to see him poking his coach on the sideline after he makes a 3, obviously kind of milking this a little bit. You have to understand, we as Grizz fans have been there before. And we don't need a situation like this again. It's working out well for Ace Bailey, who tried to posture in position and not go to Utah. And he's playing well. I mean, he ended up in a good situation. He's playing pretty well for a rookie. But I just want hoopers, man. I just want a guy who wants to play basketball.
But he's a good case study in this same thing. He refused to go to Utah. He said he wasn't going to Utah, never visited Utah, despite Utah having the 5th pick in the draft right where he was slotted, and arguably the best raw basketball player the draft had last year. Mm-hmm. I know Cooper Flagg was a can't-miss number 1. You take Cooper Flagg out of it, and if Ace Bailey had a good camp around him and good advice, he may go number 2.
Sure.
And instead, he fell to 5, and Danny Ainge had the stones enough to say, I don't care if you want to be here or not. This is a draft.
Mm-hmm.
The nature of a draft is I get to choose out of this pool of players, and I choose you, and there's not anything you can do about it. And we'll see how it works out. And with Darryn Peterson, it would probably work out for 3 or 4 years, 2 to 3 years. But when he gets an opportunity to contract, that's when these things get weird. Yeah, that's what you saw with John Morant. It's when you get time when you have the opportunity to see what the other teams around the league look like, and you have your first chance at a say in this, that's when it gets weird. And hopefully at that time you're good enough, you've drafted around him, and you can work it out. But that's when it would get weird when it got weird with John, and when it will get weird with Darryn Peterson.
We've seen it. I mean, if he's got family or if he's got advisors similar to what John Morant has, we could be in trouble if we draft this kid. Is he a guy worth taking a flyer on at 4 or 5 from a talent standpoint? Maybe. But again, I don't want to get in bed with a guy that's going to be overly dramatic when it comes down to contract negotiation time. When there, we'll Yeah, I mean,
Cohen's saying Zach Kleiman is not watching college basketball. He's in New Zealand watching NBL. So
watching this Karen Lopez kid, who's a guy that like he's kind of like where was he? I saw him the other day because the Grizzlies were a team that was like marked for him in the second round somewhere on Tankathon, and like he's currently listed as the 24th best player on Tankathon. That's where I saw it at 24th.
What position? What? Give me the.
He's a 6'8" small forward from New Zealand, 19 years old, 16.4 points, 9.5 rebounds, 3 stocks per game in the NBL.
They love him. He loves him. Metrics.
But we've talked about him as well. AJ Dybansta.
Is he white? Because then Kleiman would really love him.
Oh, he'd be all over him. But AJ Dybansta proved to me last night, Drew, that he is quite possibly the number 1 overall pick in this draft. I mean, he's currently number 2 on Tankathon. Most big boards have him number 2 behind Darryn Peterson. But from a guy that's athletic, show up, gamer, he had 35 points and 7 boards last night against Arizona. They fell to the Wildcats. BYU did. But just another electric, efficient game for him. He was 13 of 28. 2 of 6 from 3, but 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 7 boards, 2 assists. I mean, the guy's just athletic and a scoring machine. And in a world where we've got Darryn Peterson, number 1 overall player, ducking games and cramping and not playing, Dybansta is a breath of fresh air, playing 39 minutes last night, the most out of anybody in the game, and having 35 points.
And you know what? Darryn Peterson can't play through a groin injury or whatever. AJ Dybansta it chose celibacy to go to BYU to play basketball. So, yeah, he'll give up anything to play basketball.
Just to hoop. And that's why Dybansta should be number 1 overall. This is a hooper. This is a kid who
no
it's ball above all.
Words, no fooling around. Like, Dybansta
ball
is just dedicated
above all. Yeah, ball above all. This is wild. Like, this is a guy that will prove time and time again that he is a hooper at heart. And give me a guy like that. But a couple of Keaton Wagner didn't have the best game last night. And kind of a bummer because they were playing USC and Alijah Arenas, who a lot of people on this network are clamoring for and wanting so bad when the guy he was sick yesterday. It came out yesterday morning. He was sick. He played 18 minutes, went 2 of 7 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, which puts his season. He's only played in 8 games, small sample size because he's coming back from that bad car wreck. But he's shooting 34% from the field, 23% from 3, and 68% from the free throw line, averaging 14 points a game. I don't think I'm in a bad spot on a wait and see with a guy like that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that Elijah's not going to be incredible.
He's like a 6'7" point guard. Like,
he's 6'6", 199 pounds. Obviously got some lineage there as his dad. Gilbert was in the NBA for a long time. I get it. Like, I see it. Like, I've seen some of it, but I need to see it be a bit more efficient. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to go say the Grizzlies have to go trade up and get him at the end of the first round. This is a can't miss prospect because, like, Jalen Wells also has really good, because they've tried to sell me on his mechanics and the way he shoots and the way he moves. Jalen Wells has good mechanics and shoots and moves really well, but it's not working. Like, I'm not saying that's who that Elijah is going to be. Yeah. Zaire Williams is another one. I'm not saying that's who it's going to be. I don't think I'm wrong for a wait and see type mentality. He might be really good, and maybe another year in college is what he needs, and he's the number 1 overall player next year's draft. But I'm not ready to hitch my wagon to a guy who's yet to prove anything to me.
Yeah, I've always seen clips of him. I'm going to stay away from making any sweeping judgments on him. But, he's definitely one that will get a lot of attention come draft combine stuff, because, again, you plug his measurements into your spreadsheet, and it's like, 6'6" guard can handle, hopefully he can play at his own pace. The form looks good. I'm sure if his form looks good, they're going to look at what his free throw percentage is. And if his free throw percentage is high, they're going to be like, that translates. That'll make a good 3-point shooter, and you'll talk yourself into it.
Sure.
And so I'm just going to wait and see on him.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at. And I don't think that's a bad place to be. And I don't think you can throw baby out with the bathwater because I'm waiting and see. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I just need to see more from a guy who's coming off of a significant injury, who looks good, but we've been burned by that before.
What do you think about having Gilbert Arenas as a part of the Grizzlies fandom?
I mean, again, if Alijah is awesome, I have put up with T. Morant for the last 7 years. I can put up with Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, T. Morant's never been an issue, but it would be a sideshow, that's for sure. Even more than T. But
I'm about to say T has been a sideshow, especially more lately. T and Uncle Phil and this whole drama and all this stuff. Like,
unlike T, like Gil's got a platform, a real legitimate platform in which he is not afraid to say exactly what he thinks. You are kind of inviting a potential wolf into the hen house there. If he decides that, like me, this European system is stupid, he will let millions of people know on his show every single week.
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Wayno saying the same thing. I'll pass on Gilbert mentality. You can keep Arenas. Edward saying he talks too much about Memphis as is. Don't want Gil in his podcast. Like, again, we've had a sideshow with this Ja Morant saga as of late. T. Morant, Ja Morant, they're all kind of lumped in that thing with me. That can't with me. I don't want to go through it again. I've said it all along.
Really
give me hoopers who build Legos, watch anime, and just want to play basketball. I'm done having a global sensation.
You have just described Miles Turner and Zaire Williams.
And Cedric Coward.
No, I don't want anybody that watches anime. That is how I know I'm officially old. Is I'm like,
same.
Or what?
It's stupid.
Grown-ups watching cartoons now?
Yeah. Anime is wild to me. And no offense to those of you in the comments who enjoy some good anime. No offense, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I've just drawn this line in the sand for no particular reason. That I'm just like, nope, not doing it. It's just totally me. I get it, but I'm so scared to keep. This is where I'm at today, and I don't know why I'm here today, and I haven't been lately. But I'm so scared that we're going to overreact to the off the field stuff that I don't want to miss out on a great player because we've overreacted to Ja Morant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
I kind of am where Wayno, he said in the comments earlier, I'm not going to say it. It's like when you're at the draft and you are totally rebuilding and you're going to call it pick 8. It's not the number 1 pick. It's not the number 3 pick. It's not number 5 pick. At a spot like number 8, you just probably should just take the best player available anyways and make it work. And then hopefully, you don't have a repeat, but don't take a lesser caliber player because you're scared that Ja Morant will continue the mentality and the boogeyman will continue to show up.
I mean, that's fair. You're going to have to take a chance on somebody. Take a chance with the best player available is not a bad thing. But I'm hoping that the basketball gods, aka Adam Silver, give us a little lottery luck this year and help us land somebody that can help turn this franchise around. But on the other side of this brief commercial break, we're going to talk about the rest of the NBA games. We got NBA games coming up tonight. We're going to talk about some same game PRAs. And then we'll kind of look at what it looks like going into the weekend for the Grizzlies. Stick with us after this brief commercial break, and we'll be right back.
In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem.
You have to be cut from a certain cloth to be a star in the NBA, bro. Like, and a lot of guys can look the part and they can kind of play the part, but you really gotta be that dude, bro. And like we talked about this yesterday with the new faces of the league or them dudes we talked about, right? Like them dudes cut different, man. Like you gotta be cut from a different cloth to be a real star in the NBA. And the Grizzlies, they saw Ja and they put everything behind him and they tooled everything around him and all these type of things. And man, you better pick right when you decide what you're gonna build this thing around, man, because you can look back and be like, yeah, man, we blew a whole 7 of them things real quick. You know what I mean? Them 7 years got away from you real fast, bro. Because everybody ain't ready for that limelight, man. The limelight bright as
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Grind City Brewing is the place to be this Saturday. It's frosted. One day, 5 brand new beers, and a stacked lineup with something for everyone. Kick off the afternoon with live music from Sunweight at 2:30. Then stick around because Bluff City Media is taking over with a Grizzlies watch party and live show. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. as the Grizz battle the Miami Heat. And here's the kicker. Every beer purchase enters you into our raffle for huge prizes. Grind City gift cards, exclusive merch, Grizz tickets, Alabama Shakes tickets, and more. Cold beer, live music, big game energy. Don't miss Frosted, only at Grind City Brewing. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the $2 Sports Show. We are the $2. This is our show on Bluff City Media. Thank you to all of our sponsors. As you saw in the ad, if you want to help us out a lot, go shop with them. Go get you a Pink Beetle. If you want to be noticed, go get you a Pink Beetle. Put the top down. Let the air whip through your hair. Yeah. And everybody that's looking at you, they're envious. I don't care what their face looks like. They're envious.
Absolutely. And if you went today, there's still time to get that Pink Beetle and drive it to the watch party on Saturday. If you went and got that today, we would see you there Saturday night at Grind City Brewing in your Pink Beetle with the top down, pulling up for Frosted. It starts at 2:30 with some live music. There's going to be raffles, as Kenny said in that commercial. They're giving away Alabama Shakes tickets, Memphis Grizzly tickets. Other items are up for raffle. And the way you earn tickets is by purchasing beers from the Frosted event. Not sitting here encouraging you to buy 100 beers, but you would get 100 chances if you did, buying for you and all your friends. Let's hope that that's the case. They announced some of the new flavors yesterday on social media that they're dropping some of the new beers. There's a New England IPA, a chocolate strawberry sour. There is a tamarind sour, blackberry wheat ale, and a juicy hazy IPA. I personally can't wait for the cold open, the New England IPA. I'll be there on Saturday for those. And then stick around for the watch party of the Grizz and the Heat. Grizz and the Heat game at 7 o'clock. It'll be on all of the projector screens in there, and they'll be doing the post-game bounce live from Grind City Brewing after the game. So y'all come out on Saturday, hang out with us, support Grind City Brewing, have some great beers, raise a glass with us as we watch the Memphis Grizzlies together against the Miami Heat. Drew, there was a time where we thought that Ja Morant might be a Memphis Grizzly, but if you hear what some of the other players are saying about him, particularly Cedric Coward this week on the KOC podcast, you would think that Ja Morant is a Boy Scout. He's the best mate. He's the best person. If you have negative thoughts, Cedric said, to keep them to yourself, because that's not who Ja Morant is. I think personally, Cedric Coward is politicking there a little bit. What are your thoughts on Cedric's comments?
No, I think he's being 100% genuine. You've never heard anybody say any player that's played along Ja do anything other than go to bat for Ja. And possibly it is the fact that people who have nothing nice to say nothing at all. But the people who do talk about Ja Morant always talk publicly positively about him. And I have no reason to doubt Cedric Coward. Listen, he's a rookie in this league and when came to a team when Ja was a vet and Ja treated him with respect. He offered to buy his groceries when he was snowed in. Like I've never accused Ja of being a bad person. I don't think that Ja's a bad person. I still believe Ja Morant is a good person with a good family who right now in the midst of being down and an agent, not having an agent and dealing with a lot of unlucky injuries is presented with a crossroads. And the crossroads is that the Grizzlies aren't convinced they want to give him a max contract. And so he is responding poorly to it. But that is basketball. That is business. That is not Ja Morant, the person. And I've never attacked Ja Morant, the person off the court. I think he makes very poor basketball decisions, but it's always basketball and gamesmanship around contracts and stuff like that I question with Ja.
And I agree. I'm not sitting here saying that Ja is some despicable human by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. Like he clearly gets bad advice. He has bad people in his circle, and he's not handling his business like a professional. And like, I think there's a world where if Ja Morant had better advice, Mike Miller had stuck around, had better advice, we wouldn't be having any of these conversations. But I do agree. I think Cedric's being genuine here. I think that Ja Morant is truly a good guy, a great human, a great advocate for his teammates. He clearly is well respected by his teammates. They love him. Jaren loved him. He posted him on his social media today. There's all the talk about Ja as a person, and I believe every bit of it. Our view is just unfortunately tainted because being a great guy and a great person to your teammates doesn't translate to winning on the basketball court when there are all these issues around basketball, right. Particularly not playing, sitting out to try and earn a contract, and all the shenanigans that he's pulling. It's sad to see that taint his reputation. But I agree. I think Cedric is speaking true about Ja, and Ja is this great human to the team. It's just hard to separate the basketball player from the human sometimes.
And let me just say this too. I think Cedric, I have a lot of respect for Cedric for going to bat for him. Mm-hmm. He could pile on. He could talk about the things that, on the court that is not going Cedric Coward's way. Listen, this is Cedric's rookie year, in which last season before Ja got hurt, we were the 2 seed. We were the 2 seed the year before that. And you came in with a lot of expectations. You got off of you traded Desmond Bane for a lot of picks, so allowed you to get Cedric Coward. And you had expectations, at least locally, not nationally, but at least locally. And Cedric Coward got a dose of a reality that he didn't want. Mm-hmm. Has not played basketball enough with Cedric Coward, and things have gone the wrong way, and a lot of the arrows are pointed at Ja for that, including from me. I won't hide from it. I've blamed Ja Morant publicly often for how this season has gone and last season. And so Cedric Coward could have gotten up there and just be like, listen, if he played basketball, I think we'd be really good and we'd still have Jaren Jackson Jr. and all this other kind of stuff. But he didn't do that. He went to bat for him publicly, and I appreciate that. And I've never doubted one bit that Ja Morant is a bad friend or a bad
human. And it just shows a lot of maturity on Cedric's part, too, because he's going to bat, protecting his teammate, speaking highly of his teammate. And I never expected Cedric to do otherwise, even if it wasn't going well, even if Ja was being a malcontent in the locker room to other guys. Cedric Coward is a true professional, and I think that he will be a great representation or great representative of this franchise, like Jaren was for sure, like Ja is as well off the court. I'm excited for the future with Cedric Coward and building around him as a true professional on this team.
Yeah, I agree.
But the NBA is back tonight, Drew. We've got a long list of games. The Grizzlies do not play tonight, but there are some games impacting the Memphis Grizzlies and their draft position. I didn't put it on here because it's just such a bad game, but like the Magic and the Kings play late tonight. That one directly impacts the Memphis Grizzlies with the Kings ahead of us in the lottery pick, and we would like Orlando to continue to lose in order to be making that pick creep up into the lottery. But there are some good games. You got the Hawks and 76ers. A couple of the 76ers were a team we talked about on yesterday's show as a team, as a dark horse in the Eastern Conference.
Sacramento has had a surgical outbreak.
Yeah.
With surprisingly, Levine and Sabonis both found out the same day that they need season-ending surgery.
How about that?
I'm telling you, it is a race. It is a race.
Which is why, like we talked about yesterday, I don't see that Magic pick ticking up a whole lot into the lottery. But if we're still in the mid-teens with that, that's still a really, really good pick. And contrary to what you're seeing on X right now, that's not a good place to pick up Alijah Arenas. But anyway, other good games tonight include the Rockets traveling to Charlotte. LaMelo Ball was involved in a car wreck this week in his big ugly Hummer. Have you seen the video of that?
Listen, if I've seen one clip of LaMelo Ball not knowing how to drive, I've seen a dozen.
A dozen of them.
Like, you remember when he was a rookie, and every game, after every game, there would be a new Lamborghini that would exit the players' parking garage doing 75 miles an hour.
Running every red light. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to make a light of it or anything, but how has this dude not been in a serious car wreck yet?
Yeah. Yeah, man, like wild how in his purple Rolls Royce, in his Lamborghinis, in his Hummer, like just bolts out and then flies through the red lights, like with no regard for human life. Yeah. Shockingly, he had a wreck. Thankfully, he's okay, as well as the person he had a wreck with, only for him to get in a gold Lamborghini and leave the scene. So he's clearly not hurting.
You're talking about off the court questionable stuff. Like, he's one of them. I don't project anybody. I don't like projecting anybody to get in trouble. But my goodness, that guy has young money problems written all over him.
100%. Big game in the Eastern Conference tonight as two of the top three teams face off in Madison Square Garden, with the Detroit Pistons traveling to New York, where they're a 4.5 point road underdog to the Knicks, who are a 4.5 point home favorite. That's going to be a really good game with Eastern Conference ramifications for sure.
Yeah, I think both those Knicks are 3 in the East, right? Is that right? Behind Cleveland or behind Boston? Somewhere around the Cleveland, New York, somewhere 3 or 4. Yeah, that's a good one. Suns, Spurs. Listen, I don't think we've talked about the Celtics enough. We did talk about them yesterday.
I picked him as my dark horse to win the Eastern Conference on yesterday's show.
There is, going into this season, all we had to work on in the Eastern Conference was just a list of Achilles tears. It was Dame with Milwaukee at the time, and Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum all having Achilles tears in the playoffs. And it was like, okay, the East is completely wide open. I think I said it was Knicks or bust. I expected the Celtics to be in the lottery, but Derek White's been awesome still. Peyton Pritchard's been good. Jaylen Brown has been awesome still. Like, there's
Luka Garza is the second best Luka in the NBA.
It is, yeah, and he is the second best Luka in the NBA and the worst Luka in the NBA. I'm sorry if I'm missing a third Luka out there, but we're not talking about it enough as how good they are. And I think when you talk about culture, that's an absolute sign of a good culture. Joe Mazzulla, Brad Stevens do an incredible job there.
This is the anti-tanking argument, right? Like, the Celtics have a winning culture, and they're winning with a less than roster. No Jason Tatum, who looks to be coming back ahead of schedule. He's already in the gym getting reps. And like, you add Jason Tatum to this team, and I know we talked about it briefly yesterday, but like, I don't see Jason Tatum being a culture or a momentum killer. I think he is a value add to this team, especially if Jaylen Brown can continue to play at the level he's playing at. Like, I don't know that we're talking about that enough either, because there are so many other good players in the NBA, and there's been other guys that are having MVP caliber seasons. But Jaylen Brown is averaging 29 points, 6.9 rebounds, 4.7 assists. His assist to turnover ratio is 1.3 assists to turnover. It's like playing at a super high level for a guy who's not meant to be the superstar number one option. but does have a finals MVP and has been that guy in the past. Kudos to him for stepping up and leading a team when Anthony Simons is your fourth leading scorer on this team, right? And he's
not even good enough to be good enough.
Exactly.
He's still Anthony.
Exactly. And he's not even on the team anymore as he's now in Chicago. But like Jaylen Brown has had an incredible run for Boston. They're a 5.5-point road favorite out at Golden State tonight. And then the Nuggets taking on the Clippers. Nuggets 4.5-point road favorite at the Clippers, who had a fire sale to get rid of basically everybody with a pulse. But Kawhi Leonard is playing basketball at a super high level, which will always give them a pulse as long as he's on that team.
Yeah, he's going to get MVP votes if he stays healthy and they keep climbing.
100%.
Los Angeles is a team that is probably the most intriguing team post-trade deadline there is. Them in Cleveland, both ends of the Harden trades. Like, how in the world the Clippers went from like winning 18 of 20 to trading Zubac and James Harden. It is just wild to me. And I didn't realize this, Rusty. Did you realize that in that Zubac deal, and correct me if I know I'm not wrong, the Pacers sent a protected first-round pick from this upcoming draft in which they have the second worst record. And it's protected 1 through 4 would stay with Indiana, and like 10, and basically it goes to LA if it falls between like 5 and 10.
I think that's
which
right.
is just crazy to me that you would give away potentially a top 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pick.
Yeah, for a guy
Zubac.
who's going to be he's going to help this team next year. Doesn't do a lot for you this year as you're trying to tank and keep that in the top 5 picks. But yeah, that's a lot to give up for a center like that. We'll see what that does for the Clippers. They're going to have a whole new identity. No James Harden, no Zubac. Like, can John Collins step up and be that post player that they need? Like, there's a lot of question marks about this team. Like you said, probably the most fascinating, intriguing team post deadline with the overhaul that they did. I
think I'm going to love Indiana next year.
Yeah, I do too. Especially if they can keep that as a top 5 and you add a guy like a dude to this roster and you got Zubac and Siakam at your 4-5. You get Hallie back. They still got Nembhard. Like, this team could be really, really fun next year. Really fun. But as we start to wrap up this show, I got a couple ways for y'all to go make some money over on FanDuel with a same game PRA parlay in the Knicks and Pistons game tonight. If you think this game's going to be a lot of fun, high scoring, which it could be, go make you a few dollars. I've got Cade over 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Brunson over 36.5. Azor Thompson over 16.5. And Cat over 32.5. If you think that's going to hit, you can get a 50% same game parlay profit boost on FanDuel today in the NBA. These odds when I got it were plus 1086. When I hit it with that 50% profit boost, Drew, it went through the roof. If this one hits, you got a chance to make some serious money with, again, a 50% same game profit boost for this one. It took those odds to plus 1629.
That's money. $100 bet wins you $1,600. And just again, when you win, cut a check to Rusty for a finder's fee.
Yeah, exactly. And so I like this one. But
it'll
I feel
probably
really good.
One leg short, like usual.
Be one leg short, like usual, and that's usually how my parlays, and I feel like most people parlays go, is there's always that one leg that falls just short. I feel better about this one though. This is an NBA PRA parlay, not same game. I've got Cade in that Knicks Pistons game over 40.5. I got Jalen Johnson in that 76ers game over 41.5 because he has been absolutely incredible this year and only getting better as the season goes on. Wemby over 37.5 and the aforementioned Kawhi Leonard over 38.5 plus 1104 over on FanDuel. There is a $5. If you bet $5 as a new user on FanDuel, you get $100 in bonus bets if you win. So if you like this parlay, this is your first time betting on FanDuel, place a $5 bet. And if you win this plus $100 will be put in your account for future bets over on FanDuel as a no sweat bet intro. FanDuel, the official odds provider of Bluff City Media.
That's right. Some homework everybody could do as we were on here. Jared Jackson Jr. Released a Players Tribune letter to Memphis and Memphians, I guess, regarding his trade and soon return tomorrow night to watch the Grizzlies Utah Jazz game in street
Watch it.
clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, that is the best way you can pay your respects to Memphis Grizzlies fans is to watch it on the bench in street clothes.
Exactly. I have not.
Do you think that the Grizzlies do his tribute video tonight, even though he's not playing? Probably, right?
I mean, I think so. They typically do it on your first game back, even if you're not playing. If the only way I would see that he doesn't get it is if the surgery has him unable to fly and travel with the team. That would be the only reason that they wouldn't do it if he's not there. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want to do it with him watching from home in Utah. But
No.
if he's in the building, I think they'll do a tribute for him. I'm gonna be in the building in my Jaren jersey, regardless.
Yeah,
but I think
you and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I have not read the Players Tribune yet. I'm going to read that after the show this afternoon, and we can talk about that tomorrow. But definitely make sure y'all go check it out. Apparently, it was pretty good. So
yep. Also, I'm very upset at anybody who paused this podcast to read a Players Tribune article. You can watch it you can read it afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Hang with us because that's going to do it for the Thursday edition of $2 Sports
Now
Show.
you can read it.
Now you can read it. We appreciate all y'all. Cohen, David Owens, Edward, King Meeks, Bueno, the usual suspects in the comments today. Talking college ball, talking NBA with us. We'll be back tomorrow live at 11 a.m. Central on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel, previewing that Grizz Jazz game, get you prepped for the weekend, and we'll have some buffoonery planned as well. So thank y'all for being here with us. We appreciate it. Y'all help drive the show and make it better. Tune in to Anthony Sane at 1 o'clock. And in the meantime, y'all go be a friend of somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for. Hope everybody has a happy and safe Thursday. We will see you here to wrap up the week tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.